It's Wednesday, September 25th, 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. We got a lot to talk about today, and I want to start with this first article. It just came over from TMZ. Star Eduardo Zoll dead at 58, 1 week after stabbing. That happened right out here in Palm Springs, California. They do have the suspect in custody. And I bring it up because it's hitting so close to home. What was it? Last week, 10 days ago, we had the attempted break-in at our house. Now we have a celebrity in Palm Springs who's lost his life. Now, I don't know if he knew this person. I don't know what the gist of the story is. But it is another murder. It is more violence. It is more crime. And what is really even more alarming is that one of my very, very good friends, Enrique, now he has had an attempted home invasion at his vacation home in Rosarito, Mexico. Half hour basically from San Diego. He was not there, but his wife was at the home when this happened just about 2 days ago. And she came downstairs and saw someone, presumably a male with a mask, like a ski mask on with gloves, trying to pry his way into the French doors of the lower level of their home. Now imagine you were there, your wife was there, you see somebody in a ski mask trying to pry your door open in the backyard to come into your house. Very, very alarming. Eduardo Zoll has lost his life due to a violent crime minutes from where I'm making this video. My good friend Enrique now has had an attempted home invasion at his vacation home with his wife there. And you know, down in Mexico, you don't have the ability to have those tools or pew-pews to protect yourself. So it's very, very scary because this is happening more and more often. I have people writing me every day telling me about people that have tried to break into their homes or they've had their homes burglarized. Some of the nicest areas here in Southern California, multi-million-dollar homes are being burglarized. We've had so many home invasions in Los Angeles. But you know, when it's hitting your area, when it's hitting your friends, it's hitting very, very close to home. So I bring this up as a reminder to make sure, you know, that you lock your doors, to make sure that, you know, you have situational awareness even when you're home, because you can be a victim even in your own home. You don't know who's watching you. So it's probably a good idea to add some cameras, lock those doors down. I think one of the best things you can have is a big dog. That's a very, very good deterrent. But it's sad that this stuff's on the news every day. You have got to be extremely careful when you're out and about and when you're in your own home. So be careful, be paying attention. Another article today. All over the news. I'm not even going to say it's an article. I've been reading this all over the internet for the past week. Springfield, Ohio, and what's happening down there. It's old news, right? But what we have to realize is Springfield, Ohio is coming to a town near you. In fact, it may already be in your town. Welcome to the new world order, ladies and gentlemen. This is becoming more and more prevalent. And we're going to see more of it. And it's just shocking that people will just, you know, go to their football games, go to their baseball games, ignoring what is happening across America. And it's going to be happening in your town or a town near you. And another related story that just happened minutes from where I'm making this video, multiple cases of people smuggling other people and smuggling little people reported near Coachella Valley. Right here, minutes from my home, Border Patrol caught a bunch of people that were smuggling other people into this country from Mexico. And a lot of these people were very, very young. And so it is happening right here. When we talk about people coming from all over the world, they're coming right up over the borders here. We have the cartels bringing people over here, people that don't even want to be here. They're forcing over here because they're putting them to work. So this is hitting my area, my town now, because we're surrounded by this stuff. And the crime that comes with it, all the drugs, all the smuggling, it's just unbelievable what we're witnessing take place. And if you would have asked me 20 years ago that we would be talking about subjects like this, I'd be like, you're out of your mind. But here it is. It's now hitting home. And it's going to continue to be a big problem across America. And look, I guess we can all just, go to football games and baseball games and ignore that it's happening. But, I think first off, one thing we can all do is admit that this is happening and it's being done on purpose for very nefarious reasons by very, very demonic people. I think we all better be honest with ourselves that something's going on. That's the first place we all better begin, is be honest with ourselves. And some type of action is going to have to be taken with this, because the system cannot afford to be doing this. The legal system cannot, the health system, where are these people getting jobs? Where are they getting food? How many more billions of dollars do the American people have to pay through their taxes to support people that shouldn't even be here? And look, it's not political. I love all people. I have compassion. I have empathy for everybody. I don't want to see the wars across the world. I certainly don't want to finance them. And I don't want to support what's happening right here, because a lot of these people, I'm sure, have good hearts and they're desperate and they're just looking for a better place. But we cannot afford to be doing this at this point. This country is bankrupt. We're over $35 trillion in debt. We're losing full-time good-paying jobs to part-time lousy-paying jobs. People's wages are going down. Their savings are going down. Inflation is going up. We have, food insecurity booming, homelessness booming in this country, and yet we are taking in millions and millions of people. Again, I have compassion, I have empathy for people, but we don't know who these people are, where they're from, what their reason for being here really is, what their intentions are. We know nothing. And so we are really jeopardizing the health and safety, security of this nation. Mortgage refinance boom takes hold as weekly demand surges 20%. Mortgage apps were up just 1% for the week. The average loan size now is $413,100. That is the highest in history. But what do you think about all this mortgage refinancing that is going on? I wonder how many people are just doing cash out refis at this point. But it is absolutely amazing to see how many people now are refinancing at, a little bit over 6%. What are your thoughts on this? How many people are in big, big trouble? How many people are just cashing out, doing cash refis and or cash out refis, just putting cash away because they see the writing on the wall that what is coming. And so they figure they might as well pull out as much cash out of their house as they can. I think this thing is much worse than people want to admit as far as the housing market goes. I'm seeing so many homes being built, and I'm seeing so many homes sitting on the market, not just here in my area, but in the southern part of the United States of America. The Hedge today, despite tumbling mortgage rates, U.S. new home sales dropped in August. New home sales were down 4.7% month over month. And now that the Fed has made another catastrophic mistake by cutting rates, a jumbo cut at 50 basis points, what is this going to do to home prices? A lot of people are giddy and excited that this is going to push home prices up. It could happen. Maybe home prices will go up. From what I'm seeing, they're coming down, but in some areas, maybe they're going to go up because of this. But ask yourself this: if people can't afford to buy a home right now, if half this country doesn't have $400 in cash put away for an emergency, what do you think rising home prices are going to do? Who's going to rent these homes? Who would be able to or buy these homes? Who would be able to even rent these homes? So maybe an investor goes, well, I'll buy this home and I'm going to rent it out, but the rent goes up. And if people can't even afford to save $400, how are they going to pay these rent prices? How are they doing it right now? How many people are falling behind at the moment? Again, people will try to convince us, especially real estate agents, you better buy now. Prices are going up. Prices are going up. Well, people aren't buying homes right now. Home sales have absolutely cratered. They have collapsed. We're going to see the lowest amount of home sales since the great financial crisis. It's been a horrible year for home sales. And so by raising prices, you think that home sales are going to explode? You think everybody's going to go out and run out and buy a house because home prices are going up? It's going to do quite the opposite. It's going to slow it down even more. Something's going to have to give. And we keep hearing that, well, once rates get to, this or that, then everybody's going to jump in and buy a home. Well, if you don't have $400, if you don't have a job, if you have no savings, if your wages are going down, if your hours are going down, if your job disappears, you're not buying a house no matter what the mortgage rates are. People don't realize that it's not really just the mortgage rates. It's the price of the home. It's the price of the car. These prices are too overvalued, overpriced. Keep rates. You can keep rates right where they're at. Lower the price of the home. We need to see things really crash in this country so that we get real prices back. So we know the real price of assets and what a house is really worth, what a stock is really worth. Things have been allowed to get absolutely out of control. And that's because, well, the Fed kept rates too low for too long. They were buying mortgage-backed securities. They were buying into the stock market. They pumped up the stock market. They pumped up the housing market. And now you have this huge bubble that was artificially created. It wasn't created because everybody was making tons of money, all these great jobs, all this manufacturing, the booming economy. No, it's all artificial. This was all created by the Fed, playing with interest rates, buying stocks, buying mortgage-backed securities, keeping rates way too low for too long. Here's another one. Half of all home listings, and this is from Redfin News, half of all home listings have gone extra stale, unsold after 60 days on market. So we're seeing more inventory and homes are staying on market for longer. Just an example here of some of the slowest sales areas across America. Many of them were in Florida: West Palm Beach, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Jacksonville. That was the top of the list where listings are going stale. Next was Austin, Texas, Miami, Florida, San Antonio, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, Nashville, Chicago. The list goes on, where homes are staying on longer and longer. And so if a home stays on long enough, don't you think maybe it's time to lower the price in order to get the sale? And when we do see people forced to sell and they have to lower those prices and they have to come back to reality, guess what? That's the new comp. That's what the house next door is now worth. Here's another one today. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing what we're watching take place with the U.S. economy. And yet, the people standing in the food line getting the government cheese are going to tell you and I everything's fine. It's just amazing. If you tell people a lie enough times, if you lie to them enough and keep telling them the same lie, they start to believe it while they're in line at a food line getting government cheese. This is the stupidity of what we're seeing take place, where people cannot think for themselves, where they're not believing with their own two eyes what is happening. And it's happening into their own lives. They have no money in the bank. They're working multiple part-time jobs. They're not getting ahead. And many of these people think that, oh, everything's fine. This is just the way it's supposed to be. Harley Davidson recalls 41,000 motorcycles over wiring issue that could cause loss of power. You certainly don't want a loss of power when you're riding a motorcycle. Can America manufacture or make anything now that is not recalled? I'm seeing more food recalls, more vehicle recalls. Now we got motorcycles being recalled. It's just one thing after another. Have you noticed all of these recalls? Food, motorcycles, cars. It's unbelievable. What is happening. We cannot even make a motorcycle now at this point. Southwest Airlines to cut service and staffing in Atlanta to slash costs. Well, they're going to continue cutting the fat, ladies and gentlemen, and millions of people are going to fall victim to this. Do whatever you have to do to keep your job. Southwest, they're talking about cutting more than 300 pilots and flight attendants. So where will they go? Maybe they will go to a different city. Maybe they will just go to the unemployment line, maybe to the food line. I don't know. But we're seeing more and more layoffs. And people ignore it. People just go to their football games, go to their baseball games, eat their hot dogs, drink their Diet Cokes, and just believe that, hey, there's nothing they can do about it. They're just going to run up their credit cards. It's absolutely shocking that some of the brokest people that you and I know are going to these games. They're taking vacations. They're going out to dinner. It's unbelievable. And they're running up credit at 23, 30%, and they don't have a care in the world. They just will deal with it when it ends. It's unbelievable how this mentality that people have, that they'd rather just party while the ship sinks instead of preparing a lifeboat. I just don't have an answer. I'm just shocked at the mentality of people. Here's another one today. Restaurant portions are about to get smaller. Are Americans ready? No, I don't think they're ready, because most Americans eat a lot. They're extremely large. They're extremely obese. This is not to judge or criticize. This is reality. We have an obesity epidemic in America. Half this country is now obese. We're looking at just, the rate of deaths in this country, of heart attacks, heart disease, kidney failure, tons of cancers. Many of these are caused by obesity. And just growing up as a kid in the 80s and just looking at people going to the beach compared to what I see today. And again, this is not being critical or judgmental. This is being observant. People don't even look like what they looked like 20, 30 years ago. They have morphed into something that just doesn't even look natural. It's just shocking when you see young people, 80, 100, 150 pounds overweight, and it's very common now. Think about what this is doing to your body internally, cutting your life. If you're one of these people, you can do something starting today. You can start eating better. You can start exercising. You can start, doing something other than just sitting around and eating. It's going to cut your life in half. Your quality of life is going to be cut in half. It's just not a way to live. It really, really isn't. And knowing what we're heading into with a social collapse, an economic collapse, a spiritual collapse, you need to be really treating your temple with the utmost respect and optimizing your health and getting in the best shape of your life, no matter what age you are. People write me and go, well, I'm 72. Well, so what? You're 72. Why are you not in the best shape of your life? You should stop making excuses and start doing something. And look, everybody has maybe a limitation, maybe a disability, a handicap, but that you got to stop making excuses. You got to do what you can do. Get in the best shape that you possibly can with what you got to deal with, with what you're working with. But just sitting there going, well, I got arthritis, or, I'm 72, or, I'm missing 2 fingers. I mean, we got to stop making excuses. We all have limitations. We all have aches and pains. We all have things that we have to deal with. But you've got to optimize the best that you can at this point, and stop making excuses. There's always somebody writing me saying, well, I can't do that because of this or that or whatever. And look, there's people out there that are going to make excuses their whole life. And there are people out there that just don't let things stop them. And they're going to just work harder to overcome those disabilities or those limitations. Getting back to this article. And look, again, if you're obese, if you're out of shape, overweight, you can start doing something right now, but you got to have the willpower. You got to have that mentality, that warrior mindset, that you're just not going to let the pain stop you, that you're going to get up and you're going to get moving. There is a restaurant very close to here called the Beer Hunter. If you've been to this area, maybe you've stopped there. It's in La Quinta, California, off the 111. It's been around for, I would say, decades. I don't know exactly how long. It's been here since I've been here. So it's been around for decades. It is now closed. They're done. Game over, done. And it's shocking to see a restaurant that's been around that long just close its doors. They cannot make it for whatever reason. The lease is too high. The real reason is this. Labor costs have exploded. Food costs have exploded. And again, the rent has exploded and people are pulling back, and that's why they're gone. And that's why more establishments, more restaurants are going to be gone. Also, Sid just sent me a text. He was at work and he stopped off for lunch over at a restaurant in Palm Desert. Another one off the 111. He was the only person in the establishment at around 1 o'clock. The only person in the entire restaurant. This place has been around forever. So what do you think? Are we going to see more places out of business as businesses are trying to stay in business? But again, labor costs, rent, food prices, all forcing these restaurants to have to downsize. But the one thing that isn't downsizing is the price. You're getting less food on the plate and the prices continue to go up. And this is upsetting the consumer. And like me, myself, a consumer, I've chosen to eat all my breakfasts at home, 80-90% of my dinners at home, 80-90% of my lunches at home, all my coffees at home. I'm doing it all at home. And look, food at the grocery store has gone up extremely high. It just continues to go up. But I'm getting a better deal and I'm getting better food and I'm getting a better choice by doing it at home. So I think a lot of people are going to continue to do that, and that is going to put a lot of pressure on these restaurants. I expect to see many, many more restaurants go out of business. We're coming into season out here, and a lot of these restaurants, I mean, you're going to spend, for two people after a tip, a decent place is going to be over $100. I mean, who can keep doing this? I mean, that's not even a fancy restaurant. That's just an average restaurant. You want to go to, say, a Texas Roadhouse. Two people, it's going to cost you $100. And there's nothing exciting or special about Texas Roadhouse. It's mediocre food, nice atmosphere. It's good. I mean, it is what it is. But there's nothing great there, and you're going to drop $100. And a lot of people at some point are just going to say, hey, let's just do it at home. I can get a much higher quality steak and make a better dinner at home for less money, in all honesty. But look, sometimes it is nice to go out. It is nice to get out. It is nice to go to a restaurant. But it is just getting absolutely too expensive, and especially for what you're getting, the quality of food, the service, the amount of food, the portions. It's beginning to not make sense for a lot of people. And as more and more people max out those credit cards, 20%, nearly 20% of all credit cards out there now, credit card holders have maxed out, 20%. So we're going to see more stores and more restaurants go out of business. I mean, that's just the way it is going to be, because people are running out of money and they're running out of options to buy things because their credit cards are being maxed out. And when the credit cards are maxed out, then people got real big trouble, because at that point, they're going to have a hard time even paying their utility bill, which they're struggling to do right now. So I'm going to leave it there today. Please feel free to comment down below on anything you're thinking about today. If any of this is affecting you, you've seen it, anything with crime, burglaries in your area, restaurants closing. It's sad. It really is sad to see a restaurant that's been around this long, like the Beer Hunter, done and over like that, without warning. Just without warning, done. That's it. We're going to see a lot more of it, unfortunately. And so what do these people do that own the restaurants? Where do the workers go? Where do the owners go? It's really a sad state of affairs. And now it's another business that's not paying a tax base to the city. And it's another vacant building, which is probably going to put more pressure on some regional bank who own that building, or maybe a landlord who owns it. Now what's he do? Now he's going to have a hard time paying his house payment. Who knows? I mean, this whole thing has got a lot of moving parts. It's all connected, and it affects a lot of people, from the people washing the dishes, to the people serving the food, to cooking the food, to the owners, to the city, to the landlords, to the regional banks. It's a huge mess, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to get very, very messy. So be careful out there. Thanks for tuning in today. I know that there's a lot of channels out there that you can spend your time, and I want to tell you, all of you, to your face, I appreciate that you take that, that 15, 20 minutes a day, and you give this channel some time. I really, really do appreciate it, because there's a lot of choices out there. But as always, I'm going to be as straight and honest with you and give you my opinion how I see things happening, what's happening here in Southern California, and I'm going to do the best that I can always to give you the best rundown of what is going on and the hard, cold facts and truth. Have a great day. Be safe out there. Take care.